Hey Zen fam. So, as some of you know, I'm kind of into the whole idea behind Death Stranding. I think it's a game that quite probably has a very interesting idea behind it and could prove to be, something refreshing and different. However, there has been a recent article in VG 24/7. I'm going to quote you a couple of extracts and then I'm going to go from there. So basically, Hideo Kojima himself was speaking with Game Reactor, and he said, when you play the game, you are driven very slowly at the start. There are no explanation as to what you are doing, and the story will progress slowly, especially in the beginning. It's not like Terminator or Star Wars. There's no explanation for anything, he said. You will feel lost, but don't worry, you will naturally fit in. The system is explained, because you will gradually figure out the world and what you're able to do. Expect things to get fun along the halfway mark, according to Kojima. Some people say it's almost like the Alien, where you're gradually finding out the whole world, what the whole world is about and what you can do and not do, he said. Maybe it gets fun when you complete 50% of the game. The player, like in shooters and other games, get to games and know the rules, blah 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 blah. So, I find this interesting. Kojima is very much going against the grain. Now, this game's already received a fair bit of criticism from the footage that has been released from the recent Tokyo Game Show as being, ooh, it's a walking simulator, oh, there's no combat, I don't understand the story. It's like, I think this is, whether or not you call this a brave move, it's certainly an interesting move on Kojima's part, and I find myself all the more intrigued. If anything, this harkens back to something us older gamers miss, and that's the idea of you earning the game. Let me elaborate if I shall, and I will. Put it this way, right? Back when we used to buy games in the days before internet connectivity enabled systems, a game would come out and that would be the game. There wouldn't be loot boxes, there wouldn't be microtransactions, there wouldn't be on-disc DLC, there'd be nothing. Anything that you could do in the game was on the disc or the cartridge or the cassette, It was there on the floppy disk. Whatever format the game came on, and however you played it and whatever you played it on, it was all there. There wasn't anything else to come later. If a game had a bug in it at launch that the developer hadn't seen, that was it. But it meant that if you bought a game for all the money that you spent for it, you owned that entire game. And therefore, if you were to go out into a game, especially later on in gaming, around about the 90s and onwards, if you wanted to get things like extra costumes and skins and weapons, depending on the type of game obviously, then you earned them through gameplay. And generally the way you earned things in gameplay was playing it and playing it and playing it, obviously. And often a byproduct of playing a game so much to earn items inside a game through sheer gameplay alone and not opening up your wallet often meant experimentation, sometimes by accident, sometimes by purpose, to see what can and can I not do in this game. Which obviously meant, people got the maximum out of the games and they spent longer with said games. I mean, when you consider it, right, you look at the original Super Mario. If you actually have that game and you don't have a manual and you don't have internet videos to follow, and say you've never played a game like that ever before, let's imagine you've never played a video game. You're completely fresh to the concept. That game would take you a fair wee while. No, it wouldn't take you forever, but it'd take you a fair wee while to get hold of. Remember the first time you played a video game? I know for some of us that's really going back, but it took a minute, didn't it? Because you had to understand the rules of the environment you were in. You had to understand how your character moved, and the controls, and the tolerances, and how you manage your various bits and pieces within the game. You basically had to learn the rules of the game. Nowadays, we, as experienced gamers, we can go, yeah, I know that if I shoot those barrels they'll probably blow up. Yeah, I know that when I'm looking at this wall texture as opposed to that wall texture, that one I can climb over. And I know if I go up to this door, because it's dressed in a certain manner as opposed to the door next to it, that door I can probably go through. These are little sort of shorthand things that game developers put in for us so we can understand how to navigate the worlds that they create. And I like that Hideo Kojima is basically going, well, I'm creating something that I hope is going to be completely new. He has indeed termed it the Strand genre. And it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. But I like the idea that this game is a bit slower. It's not going to spoon feed you everything immediately. It's going to give it to you a bit at a time. Here's another bit, here's another bit. And it's basically like being a fresh gamer all over again. This would be almost like playing your first game. If Kojima can get the concept right, of course. And I really like what this is saying. I like the idea that, this could be this brand new thing with this brand new concepts, but actually instead old concepts. This tickles me. And a lot of people are like, whoa, 50% of the way in. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand your reservation, because there is a big idea these days about games that respect your time. I mean, I understand this. I am a father and I'm a full-time worker. I have a YouTube channel, I have a Twitch channel, I have a Snapchat, an Instagram, a Redbubble store. I'm constantly on, Twitter, trying to keep my Twitter followers amused and happy and informed and whatever else. I'm also following a lot of stuff on Facebook that I don't really like, and I keep my Facebook deliberately very small. Not many people are actually on my Facebook in comparison to the amount of people I actually know. Very few people have been like, Wingy's there, and Django Gaming is there, and basically some family and a couple of friends, but that's about it. There's maybe about 80, 90 people, I reckon, possibly more, but not much more. Not like some people I know on Facebook who've got almost everybody they've ever met in their life, and they've got 1,000 people. No. Anyway, that to the side. So you may say, oh, it doesn't sound like Death Stranding is going to respect my time. Curiously, I kind of think it is. Because it's going to be teaching you itself. And you're going to be discovering this whole new world, this whole new way of playing and thinking together. And from what we've seen of other aspects of the game, such as the Sam Porter Bridges' quarters, it seems like not only is everything flexible and editable and you can do all kinds of things with, it seems like there's just endless variation. And I love the idea that other players can help how you play the game, either directly or indirectly. There's just so much flexibility, And okay, maybe we've seen a bit too much now. But you know what the weird thing is? Even though we've seen a lot of the game now, we saw like nearly an hour's worth of gameplay footage, and then we saw that like about half an hour or so of what it's like to be inside Sam's room at one of the British centres. Yeah, it still leaves us with mysteries. And I think this game is going to be a mystery even after you've completed it. I reckon, if I know Kojima the way I think I do, you're probably going to have to do at least 2 playthroughs of this game to understand it completely. Because you'll play through it, you'll be learning it, and you'll get lots of story beats and you'll get lots of bits about the world. But I reckon it's once you go through it again that then you'll move through the world more efficiently, and you'll be able to find more secrets, and you'll be able to, use the skill trees in a more efficient manner. You might even be doing a new game plus situation where you'll have all the stuff you earned first time around, and you'll put it in the second time around, and then earn even more stuff on top of that. I'll become really efficient at what it is you're doing while you're going from one side of the Americas to the other. Now the questions that obviously come up are, one, just how big is the area you're playing in, and how much of America still exists, and how much of it do you actually really see? Apart from, of course, what you're actually doing, because now we have a small idea about that. I'm still very much behind this game, and I like the idea that it's a drip feed, that it requires patience and thinking. I think this is actually quite a good game for just chilling out with, Yeah, you're going to have to use your brain, and the odd little section here and there that gets your heart bumping, but I think by and large this is just a game where you chill. You'll do a few missions here and there where you're delivering stuff to different places across the Americas, and it's just sort of like you're building your stats, you're building your experience, you're earning points, you're filling out the map, you're connecting more places, all which helps you towards the end game, whatever that may actually be. Or maybe they'll help you in the meta game, because it's meant to be like a game that includes other people playing the same game as you but not at the same time, in a sort of asynchronous semi-live help. There's a lot of gaming spaghetti being thrown out the wall to see what sticks, but I dare say that the bolognese of the meal is going to be flavoursome and full. There's a metaphor for you. That was just off the top of my head. Yeah, so I'd like to get your opinions, obviously, in that comment section down below. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people who are bringing the hate and bringing the suspicion and the fear, and this game's not even out yet. And people just need to chill out a little bit, see what the game's about, But I think we could very well be onto something here, and I think Kojima is very much onto something here. But obviously you may very well disagree with me, and that is your right. Anyway guys, I'm going to do what I always do. Please remember to rate, favourite, comment, share and subscribe. And of course, as always, aye, nae bother.